Oh, okay.
I had the first one, which is the Create PMs are working on vision and strategy during Q3. And also let me know if I start sounding like I'm underwater, if the audio gets back. But so the Create PMs are working on vision and strategy for Q3. It is driven by product, but we would like input from everyone. And so there's an issue that outlines Sarah's issue at the top level of Create, and then I've created an issue down below for just our group to discuss. And so I thought we could take this week to work on this sort of async by ourselves and comment in the issue and sort of answer those questions and come up with thoughts. And then next week we can have a sync discussion of those. And then there's a like create wide meeting or as many people as are available, I think Wednesday of next week. And so that sort of gives us enough time to get through there and at least have some ideas or thoughts. Pedro, you've got a question, I think.
Yeah, just because I wasn't here for the last 2 weeks, I was wondering if there's like, what is the backstory for this initiative? Is this something that only Create is doing? Is it related to the engineering allocation somehow? And yeah, what do we expect? What are the outputs of this? What is the end result that we're hoping?
Yeah, I think it's a couple things. One is because of engineering allocations and many teams in dev being sort of strapped for feature work because of all of the engineering allocations or realignments or other things. That has freed up PMs. And when I say free up, I mean, it's given PMs sort of like a different way to spend their time than maybe they would more tactically for milestones. There's more room to do less tactical work and more longer term work. And so I think that's part of it. The other piece of this is there's a dev section strategy review in November. And so part of that means that like all of the like create, manage, and plan, as well as all the group and category strategy direction pages below those need to be, looked at and reevaluated and sort of rethought through for what the next year looks like prior to that meeting. And so this gives us the time to do that. So yeah, I think those are sort of the two reasons. And as far as I know, this is happening in dev. I think Sarah called it the quarter of discovery is what we're calling. I don't know. It's what the dev section is referring to Q3 as, which is really about 2 months now. But yeah, does that answer that question?
Yeah. I don't know if you, in the middle of that, I don't know if you answered I mean, you kind of did about the expected outcome. So it looks like we need to present or review our strategy and present that in November. So I assume that it would result in updating our direction pages and our roadmaps to align with what we come up with. Is that?
I think that's tough to answer today. I don't have a good answer for you. I think direction pages, yes. There is another aspect that Sarah's asking for part of the output to be that each group now completes 2 opportunity canvases during Q3.
Oh, I see the deliverables section there. Sorry, I missed that.
Yeah. Yep. Which is also an interesting ask, given that like opportunity canvases typically explore new work, and if we can't even get to the work that we would already be doing, having more work validated to be done is sometimes doesn't help the situation. But yeah, that is sort of the other output is that item. And so we're thinking about what are things that one, like opportunity canvas, that we could do sort of the longer full opportunity canvas where you do user interviews and you do more research, and one that is much quicker where like there's a well understood problem, but maybe we don't understand some other aspect of it. And that's one of the other things that we're being asked to think about as part of this, which is, I think, what the questions go to in terms of in the issue asking in the like the stage specific, issue, the prompts that are there for expansive thinking. I think those are sort of like the questions that we should be thinking about while we're looking at what exists today.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, cool. I'm still catching up to that, but thanks for creating the issue. And I think it's good that we chat next week about this. Yeah.
Cool. And if anyone, there is a meeting, the meeting is next Wednesday for the Create Wide one. I'm going to double check. It is, if anyone's not on the invite and wants to be on the invite, let me know. I think Sarah invited like all product designers and all engineering managers in Create, but if anyone else wants in, feel free. Amy, if you're interested or not. I know this is like all of your groups, but I can add.
Go ahead and add me. I can't see also the next item. I can't guarantee that I can attend, but I'd like to at least have the option.
Cool. What do I do with the agenda?
One question: what do you anticipate for code review as part of this this exercise? Will we change our focus a lot? What do you expect?
I don't expect that we would change our focus, and I don't expect that it would dramatically shift our roadmap or anything that we'll do. I think we might refine some of the direction to be more clear about what we're doing, because we are very not feature focused. I think as a group right now, we're very much usability and performance focused. And so I think maybe we'll make that clearer in the direction that sort of sets the tone for the next year, or, continuing through this year. So I think for code review is like in the GitLab product, that's where I think for the editor extension, which would be in scope of this, so like the work that we do in VS Code, or potentially the work that we would do if we were to branch out from VS Code, maybe there's some opportunities there. That's one that I've been thinking about, because we do have more flexibility, and part of the features that we want to do in VS Code, we can't do because we're sort of dependent on other groups and teams at this point that are now also not able to deliver endpoints and APIs that we would need to sort of build those features. And so it might be like an opportune time to go and explore and do more validation, and probably an opportunity canvas around either JetBrains or a CLI or something like that.
Okay. Yeah, it sounds like for us it will be mostly a cleanup, nothing like completely new.
Yeah, I would agree. I haven't seen anything so far that leads me to believe that we'll be shifted dramatically, or that like we'll come up with some reason to stop what we're doing based on this work.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, two things that came to mind while you were talking. One of them today I was talking with Annabelle about is that maybe I'm being unfair, but it's the direction page for code review. I think that we could be clearer about what we're not going to do. I mean, we have a section there that says we're not planning to work on like this thing, but I think it would be interesting to not only list more things that we're not going to work on, as small as they could be, but also have a like a I don't know, a catch-all summary, like a principle, something that we would say things that tick these points we will not follow, and the inverse for things that we will follow. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm being unfair or haven't interpreted the content that is there like that, but it feels like I'm missing that myself. And
Sorry, I'm just trying to spell something.
I'm sorry, you summoned me.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's also being an idea floated around about group level direction pages, which would be much more explicit about what the group is doing, even above a category level, that may come into play as an opportunity there as well. So I think that feedback makes sense. I think we're yeah, I think we haven't spent a ton of time sort of talking about that outside of the group. Feel free to voice over, and I'm happy to like finish typing for you if you want.
Yeah, I think I was wondering why we're doing this with all of the PMs in Create, and I was thinking that is this an opportunity to align everyone's roadmap, and instead of, I don't know, editor going after rich, what you see, what you get, editor, and source code going after, I don't know, whatever they're going after, because they have so many things, and us going after another thing. Is this an opportunity to align the roadmaps of all of these groups to have an impact on the whole user journey across stage groups in a seamless way, instead of each group going in their own direction? Or is that not being prioritized?
I'd say this is probably a question for Sarah. Something good to ask her. I think yes to some of that, based on conversations that I've had, or the way that I think we think about things, or Sarah has thought about things. Because create, and I would say create probably exclusively, has not historically worked that way, because the groups are very creates like a catch-all for anything source code and while we work in similar things and have overlap in terms of knowledge and skill sets and things, we don't really have a cohesive stage vision compared to a stage like secure, right? Where like there's a sort of a single persona and they've got like defined things that they want to do, or like across all of those groups, they're all trying to accomplish very similar things with different, technologies, I think is maybe the difference. The ops sections are also much tighter in focus. The ops stages are much tighter in focus than like Create is. And so Sarah comes from an ops group, and they would do like think bigs in their stage, where like all of the PMs and designers would get together in a stage and sort of talk about opportunities that existed. I don't think we do that in Create. One, I think Create's more mature. And so there's a large backlog of things. And so we're not necessarily reaching for new things. And I think too, because we're sort of more disparate in the work that we do, it hasn't historically been a thing. I don't think that means it shouldn't be a thing. I think that's part of what this might be trying to do, is to make, give us opportunities to look at what other groups are doing and see if there's a way to align the stage to some themes that make more sense for the stage and what the stage collectively does. But yeah, I don't know. I think this is sort of that experiment.
Okay, cool. That sounds fair. I think it kind of aligns with what I was thinking. And at the same time, it's what you said, like we can't perfectly align the directions of all of the groups, because, for example, source code, they have a lot of different things that they still need to maintain, or someone, as you said, like it's a catch-all, so someone needs to maintain those things. The same thing for editor, that inherited some things from knowledge, and so it's yeah, it sounds like we would need to split up even more the groups, and have in the same way that Secure has, I don't know, I think 4 or 5 groups or more. We only have 3, which doesn't make a lot of sense for the number of problems that we're solving. But that's another whole series of conversations.
Sorry, to answer your question, Amy, I don't know how tactical any of these conversations will be, like about specific work, but it could be a venue. I think this is trying to be more vision level than more tactical.
That's fine. That's fine. I know that Pedro would really like to see this work move forward at some point, and I'm only looking at it from the low level perspective. Hey, we're going to have some front end engineering time.
Yeah, we might.
I have no shame, y'all.
Okay, anything else on this one? I know we're bumping up against time, so I'll just quickly do the read only that I've got in. I'm just highlighting again, Annabelle and Pedro, you're both tagged in the issue. It is a customer, and a large and visible customer, and so I want to make sure that we're responsive to them, even if that response is like, we need more time or we need to do more. But I want to make sure that we at least sort of stay on top of that. They've been contributing. Actually, from what I know, the organization actually hired someone explicitly, or moved someone to explicitly sort of contribute to GitLab as their job. And so there's a lot of MRs open from the person. I think we've been tagged. I've been involved in several over the last few days looking at things. And then this is an outstanding one. So I want to make sure that we stay responsive. We don't have to say yes to everything the group wants to do, but we do have to at least be responsive and sort of come back with reasons why or why not, and alternative workflows or whatever the case may be.
I have a question about that, but do we want to stop recording?
Yeah, I can do that.